How much money is a lot of money in the stock market? That's what we're talking about here today, guys. I get a lot of comments from people, or people asking me questions like, oh, I'm such and such age. I have $5,000. I feel like I don't have anything. Or, hey, I have $12,000. I'm not doing too well, right? And I get a lot of questions like that. So we got to really have a discussion here today. I want to kind of break down brackets for you, kind of goals that I think the average person can achieve, because it's all relative, right? If you say how much money is a lot of money to have in the stock market as an individual person investing in stocks, everything is completely relative, right? For me, a good size position is anything over 6 figures, right? But for Warren Buffett, he doesn't even consider a position unless it's at least 10 to 11 figures, okay? So there's different levels to this game. At one time, a big investment for me was like 4 figures, like anything over $1,000 in a stock was a lot of money for me, okay? So the way I like to kind of break this down is I like to look at different kind of brackets you hit and why those are big and why those are kind of like goals you should have and how you should be thinking about that. And I kind of break it down like this, okay? You have your kindergarten through 6th grade brackets, okay, which is that first part we'll go through. Then we're going to go through when you go to middle school, okay? Then high school, and then what amount of money would I consider you're going to college now, and then maybe make it professional at some point in time, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Just kind of a very different video, just kind of breaking this down. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hit a thumbs up, all right? So first major, milestone for you as an investor is just making your first investment, all right? If you're picking stocks, you're actually putting some money into a stock, right? You want to buy an Apple share, or you want to buy Google, or whatever stock it is out there, okay? The fact that you just bought a stock for your first time is a big milestone itself, because most people never even ever buy a stock for themselves, okay? Maybe they'll have a 401k, or they'll put some money in a mutual fund or something like that, but they're not actually picking individual stocks. They're not like, I think Apple's undervalued. Let me buy some Apple stock or whatnot, right? So just making your first investment, regardless of how small it is, I don't care if it's $50, $100, $500, like that is a big thing. I think most people, when they make their first investment, is for a few $100s, including myself, okay? My first investment was like $200 or $300. It was in some speculative biopharmaceutical company, some crap company, okay? And it was like $200 or $300 or something around there. And that's most people's first investment, and that's perfectly fine. The fact that you're actually starting is probably the biggest step you'll ever make. I'll be completely honest. Okay? So the next milestone as you move down is $1,000. $1,000 is big because you're now in a 4-figure club. Now, some people just jump over this because once they start in the stock market, they already have over $1,000. Maybe they have $5,000, $10,000. They put that in right away because they have a lot saved. And that's fine and dandy, but most people, like I said, start with a few $100s and kind of start building positions, especially with the Robinhood app now, because Robinhood doesn't even try, charge you commissions. So it's enabled a lot more investors to say, oh, I don't even have to pay commission now. Oh, I can just buy 1 share of stock or 2 shares of stock. It doesn't matter. Unlike when I started investing, it was $19.95 per trade, okay? So $19.95 every time I went to buy a stock, $19.95 commission every time I went to sell a stock. It was a total different ballgame. So you had to save up more money to invest at a particular time. So once you hit $1,000, you're hitting a 4-figure club, and that is awesome, okay? Now $5,000. So all these first brackets should be pretty easy for you to hit. I think $5,000 in a stock market account is very possible for most people out there, all right? Here's why. You should be able to deposit at least several $100s into your brokerage account every single month, if not $1,000 or more dollars into your brokerage account every single month. If you cannot, then you have either an income problem or you have an expensive problem, or you have both, okay? And if you have an income problem, then apply for new jobs that pay more money. If you can't get a better job and no one will hire you for more money, then go search passive income streams, build your own business, do something like that, okay? You're gonna have to search something out of there. Or you can just bring down expenses and basically spend less money or something like that. I think the better one to do is focus on income. So you should be able to funnel at least several $100s into your brokerage account every single month, if not more than $1,000 every single month. So you should be able to, if you're really dedicated to this, you should be able to easily hit $5,000 into your brokerage account within your first year, okay? Within your first year, and obviously if you're, watching this and you're 15 years old and you don't have a job and you only have an allowance or something, which is like 1% of the population watching this video right now, right? Then that might be unrealistic. But most people, that you guys that are out there that are in your 20s or 30s or 40s and you guys got jobs and whatnot, you guys should be able to hit 5K within the first year, and that's without even counting on dividends coming in. That's without even counting on stock prices going up. Regardless, you should be able to hit 5K, and that's a big milestone, because here's the thing. Now you're only a 2x away from hitting the 5-figure club, okay? And that puts us in our next category, which is middle school. Alrighty, so the time has come to go to middle school, all right? I consider middle school is when you hit $10,000 in your stock market portfolio, okay? $10,000 is a big number. I suggest every single person that hits $10,000 in your portfolio, you take your friends and family out to a nice dinner, wherever you want to go, whatever place you think is awesome, okay? I suggest this is a big celebration goal, okay? The fact that you hit $10,000 in a stock market portfolio, you have that much money in there, just realize most people don't, okay? Most people don't even have $10,000 to their name out there, all right? So the fact that you have $10,000 in a brokerage account now is big time, all right? This means you can have several positions with thousands of dollars in them, which is a pretty cool thing to think about. You could have 3, 4, maybe even 5 positions, maybe even more than that if you only put $1,000 in each stock, right? You could have many positions that have at least 4 figures in them, and I think that's just like a cool goal to hit. And now you're part of the 5-figure club. So make sure when you hit that number, go out and celebrate with those you that are closest to you. I think it's a good thing to do, okay? Then the next bracket down, in my opinion, that's important is $25,000. I think this is the first time when you kind of realize you kind of can just like take a step back and look at how far you've come in this game, right? From maybe just a few years ago, you were just making your first investment, you had maybe $1,000 to now all of a sudden maybe you 25x your money because of deposits. Not like you got 25 times a return on your money or something, but because you deposited more money in, hopefully you were getting gains on your stocks and you were receiving dividends and you built up to this $25,000 number. I think it's a good number to just reflect back and kind of look at how far you've come, because coming from nothing, like, a few $100s making your first investment, and then a few years later you got $25,000 in your account. Like, that's big. And now you can have several positions that are, have $3,000, $4,000, even $5,000 in some of these stocks, and you actually feel like you're starting to get real positions built at this point in time, and it's not just like really small amounts of money, okay? That's kind of the middle school stage. Now let's go to high school. Alrighty, now it's time to go to high school. Now, real quick before we go to high school, let me just kind of, illustrate my point here. As going through like the grade school system, let's imagine it this way. Let's imagine you want to play basketball or any type of sport in general, right? When you're really young, it's really easy. Like, there aren't any tryouts to like make the team or something like that. When you're really young, you just pretty much get put on the team. You want to be on the basketball team? Oh, you sign up, your parents sign you up, you get put on the team or something like that, right? Then also middle school comes, and all of a sudden you actually have tryouts, right? And there might be 1,000 kids in your middle school or 1,500 kids. So like a lot of kids that only 13 make the roster, right? And each step along the way it gets harder. Then all of a sudden you go to high school and you want to make the varsity basketball team, and your high school might have 2,000, 3,000. My high school had nearly 4,000 kids in it, right? And all of a sudden there's only 13 people on a team, and a lot of people probably want to play basketball or whatever sport it is, and it gets really hard to make it. And then you want to go to college and play sports, and like even a more select few make it, and then the pros, and so on and so forth. So my point to kind of illustrate this is it just gets harder and harder to kind of make these goals. First off, it's kind of easy for most people. Then as the numbers get bigger, it starts getting harder and harder, okay? So high school, where would I consider these numbers being? $75,000 is that first number, in my opinion, that you're kind of in like the high school level now. It's $75,000. Here's the thing about that number. You're starting to get really close to the 6-figure club at this point in time. Now, going from 25K to 75K sometimes takes people many, many years. So don't get impatient with it. If you rise the ranks really quick and you're like get down to 25,000 within, let's say, 2 years, don't expect to all of a sudden go from 25 to 75 in a very quick amount of time. Sometimes it can take several years, because here's the thing. Now that your deposit amounts are less significant than they used to be, right? When you were depositing, let's say $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $1,500 a month, for these numbers, it could just boost you up in a very quick amount of time. However, when you're trying to go from $25,000 to $75,000, that $500 a month is a much smaller amount, and now you're counting on more of getting bigger and bigger gains, hopefully, and making more and more dividend money. The good news is you have more and more money, so if you all of a sudden, let's say you double up a position, right? You get 100% return, which is incredible. That would be ridiculous, right? But let's say you get that and you had, $5,000 in that stock. All of a sudden, now you made an extra $5,000 in profit, versus back here, if you doubled up a stock and you had $500, you had an extra $500. So there's a big difference in kind of the advantages you have versus the disadvantages, which is new money coming in, all right? But that's that. And then finally you hit the six-figure club, okay? This is kind of when you graduate high school, in my opinion. This means you're well on your way and you're looking good, okay? When you hit six figures, now all of a sudden you can have several positions that you have at least 5 figures in that, and you're starting to feel like a real player at this point in time, okay? And you can just kind of think about it like, if you just stuck all your money in a dividend stock, which, you know, I don't suggest anybody do, but if you did and you got like a 5% yield on $100,000, that's $5,000 a year you're just collecting dividends. And you start, in my opinion, at 6 figures to feel like a real player, and like you got a real portfolio built now. You're really like this is happening for you, like you're all well on your way now. It just starts to kind of hit you at this point in time, and at that point in time, then you go on to college, okay? And unfortunately, most people don't make it past college, because from what I would consider making it past college and you actually going pro, you actually becoming a pro, is at least $10 million in your stock market portfolio alone. Not $10 million net worth. I'm talking about $10 million in your portfolio alone. That is what I would consider an actual professional, okay? Where you're actually in the pro leagues. You got to have at least 10 mil. Otherwise, you're in college. Now, there's nothing to be ashamed about. Let's think about this as if we were judging off of sports, right? If we were judging off of sports, like if you make it to D1 basketball in the United States of America, or you become a D1 football player in college, that's amazing, okay? You are one of the most special people. You're one of the most gifted people in the entire world at playing basketball or running track or playing soccer or playing football or whatever it is, right? If you can make it to college and play at a very high level at a big name school, right? That's incredible. So if you don't ever make it past that, like, you shouldn't get down on yourself. I'm just saying, if you want to go pro, you got to understand, like, that's such a ridiculous thing to go pro, right? It's so unrealistic for most people out there. So if you don't ever have 10 million in your stock market portfolio, don't feel bad about yourself. The fact that you can get over 100,000 and you can get to a 6-figure position, or maybe even a 7-figure account where you got $1 million in an account, 2 million, like, that's amazing, okay? Like, you're one of the best in the world. Literally, you got one of the biggest stock market portfolios in the entire world. If you can have $500,000 in an account, $1 million, like, that's amazing. But I just wouldn't consider a professional until you kind of get up to a place where you got a stock market portfolio of 10 million more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I hope it kind of changes your mindsets around this and kind of the goals that, in my opinion, that when I hit these goals, I kind of felt certain kind of ways, and I just think, like, the thought process is kind of better. And don't get caught up into, oh, I'm 33 years old and I only got 5,000, maybe I'm not doing good or something like that. Focus on your next goal and focus on that. Don't focus on, oh, I'm a certain amount of age and I only have a certain amount of money or something like that. Just focus on the goals, guys. Get there, get there, get there, and everything's going to turn out fine for you in the end, as long as you focus long term in this game and you put in the actual work ethic. That's the bottom line to this, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this. As always, hit a thumbs up if you did. Let me know what your opinion is down there in that comment section. Thank you for watching and have a great day.